to the people.
Well, first let me say peace and Pan-Africanism to my Guadalupean brothers and sisters. And it's an honor to be on the island for the first time. And I'm sure it will not be my last. I can still remember my first visits to Jamaica and Aruba, Bahamas, Bermuda, Turks and Caicos, St. Martin, St. Croix, St. Thomas, Cuba, so many places. So it's a short visit, but a great visit. Met a lot of tremendous brothers and sisters yesterday. I'm more of a revolutionary than a spiritualist. And so in the words of Kwame Nkrumah, backwards never, forward ever. And in the words of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, no one can destroy the Negro except the Negro himself.
Ok. Shannon peut dire ça. Alors, invité en nous, est-ce qu'on peut présenter? Can you introduce yourself to the people that listening to us in Guadeloupe, but some in Martinique, some in Haiti, some in France,
all over the world?
Yes. Well, let me apologize to my brothers and sisters in Martinique. I should have been with you the week before last, just prior to my journey to South Africa and Ethiopia. But for some reason, that did not happen. But I still look forward to coming to the island eventually. Dr. Umar IFATUNDE is a doctor of clinical psychology and a certified school psychologist. So my expertise is in the evaluation, diagnosing, and treatment of mental illness and learning disabilities. I am author of 2 books. The first being Psychoacademic Holocaust.
Can you repeat the title of the
Psychoacademic Holocaust.
Le cycle académique, le cycle académique de l'Holocauste.
The Special Education
L'éducation spéciale.
And ADHD War.
And ADHD.
Wars against black boys.
ADHD contre la guerre contre les noirs.
And the second book is entitled Black Parent Advocate.
Et le second livre s'intitule L'avocat des parents noirs.
The Art of War for Dealing with America's Public and Charter Schools.
En relation avec les relations scolaires.
So that is my professional work.
C'est mon travail professionnel, mon activité professionnelle.
My community work
Le travail de communauté
and my personal life
et ma vie personnelle
is dedicated
dédicacée
to revolutionary
au révolutionnaire,
Pan-Africanism.
panafricanisme.
I am a follower
Je suis un suiveur
and a disciple
et un disciple
of the greatest Pan-Africanist ever,
du plus grand panafricaniste
the Honorable Marcus Messiah Garvey. And I come in the tradition of all the great Pan-Africanists, from Osajifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, Amilcar Cabral, Thomas Sankara, Robert Sobukwe, Bishop Henry McNeill Turner, and the fathers of Pan-Africanism, which would include Major Dr. Martin Robinson Delaney, John Brown Russworm, Henry Highland Garnett, Alexander Crummell, and Edward Wilmot Blyden. So my life is dedicated to the complete and total liberation and unification of all African people across the planet. My particular contribution will be the creation of the first global Pan-Africanist school district for our African children. Because one of the observations I have made across the world, and I've been everywhere except Australia, in the educational system for African children is still a European white supremacist academic system. There will be no liberation for African people without the liberation of African minds. And we cannot liberate the African mind without having our own Pan-African education system for our children.
Well, I have to erase my 3 next questions. On doit effacer. Yo, puisque j'ai commencé à répondre. Bon, 3 prochaines questions là, tu me posées là, et j'ai répondu. Alors, qui Dr Umar Johnson? On veut dire qui
IFATUNDE, no Johnson.
Ah, okay.
IFATUNDE.
Who is IFATUNDE? How all this started?
It began for me.
Alors, qui gens ça a commencé? Qui gens ou vini ça ou là en docteur en psychologie clinique?
How that start? How you come psychologist and doctor and about your name? IFATUNDE.
Okay. The professional journey and the Pan-Africanist journey began together. At 9 years of age, I decided I wanted to be a psychologist. At 10 and 11 years of age, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA, I happened to attend an elementary school that provided us with Black History class. And so at 10 and 11, I was introduced to Black consciousness. And that Black History class also had a oratorical public speaking contest. Public speaking oratorical contests.
Dans un contexte.
Elle avait en compétition de parole.
D'éloquence.
Et
concours d'éloquence.
And so my public speaking and my black consciousness started together.
Et alors, mon oration publique et ma conscience noire ont grandi ensemble.
During my 12 year,
durant mes 12 ans,
I attended my first family reunion
j'ai assisté à ma première réunion famille.
When I learned I was related to Frederick Douglass.
Quand j'ai appris que j'étais apparenté à Frederick Douglass.
By blood.
Par le sang.
My 6 times great grandparents
les grands-parents au 6e degré
are the grandparents who raised Frederick Douglass. And also raised my 4 times great grandfather. So by the time I left elementary school, I already knew I would be a psychologist. I already knew I would be a Pan-Africanist. I already knew I would be a public speaker. And the rest has simply been living out my destiny. My name, Ifatunde Oguntade, comes from the Yoruba culture of Nigeria. I was given that name on November 19, 2011. So November 19, 2011, I received my first ever spiritual divination at the Oyotunji African village, Oyotunji, in South Carolina. And the chief of the village, who is now an ancestor, Chief Olaitan, in consultation with Orunmila, who in Yoruba tradition is the divinity of destiny. These beads I wear are the beads of Orunmila. Orunmila is the only spirit that God, known to the Yoruba as Olodumare, owner of heaven, Orunmila is the only divinity that God allowed to witness all of creation. So Orunmila knows the destiny and completion of everything. When we will die, how we will live, how the world will end. Orunmila is witness to destiny. So when you get a spiritual reading in Yoruba culture, the priest calls upon Orunmila to open your destiny, to show what is coming, and to see if there are obstacles and challenges to the fulfillment of your destiny. And so In the divination and consultation with Orunmila, the name Ifatunde, Oguntade, was given to me, not by the chief, but through the chief, from heaven, from Orunmila. Ifatunde means destiny has returned. Has returned. Oguntade means Ogun, spirit of iron, spirit of vitality, spirit of power. Ogun is the divinity that represents the unlimited power of God. And in Yoruba culture, we are all born under a particular divinity who is like a guardian angel who walks with us in this incarnation. Because all of us been here before. We are ancestors returned to finish an uncompleted job. And so Oguntade, Ogun wears the crown. Ogun is the divinity of war. So during the Haitian Revolution, it was a voodoo ceremony. And voodoo is a cousin system of Ifa. And Santeria is a cousin system. Santeria, Puerto Rico, Cuba. So all these systems our ancestors brought with us during the slave trade from Africa. And so simply stated, Ifatunde, destiny has returned, means, among other things, that I was sent here by my ancestors to finish an uncompleted job. And Ogun will walk with me with his two machetes, spiritually speaking, to help me fight to complete my destiny, which is the liberation of African people.
Messieurs et dames, ça, frère là, sorti dit nous, Ifatunde, eh bien, c'est ça nous qu'on parle tout le temps. C'est qui? C'est ça nous qu'on dit tout le temps ici. Donc. Alors, ici, nous qu'on parle de l'Égypte. Oui, nous avons commencé avec l'Égypte. Et puis nous avons descendu petit à petit pour voir dans le Caraïbe là qui gens ça traduit.
And we go back to the Caribbean diaspora.
Qui gens ça évolue.
Where we evolve.
Ogun c'est là il a crié Oris dans panthéon égyptien.
Ogun is the one we call Heru.
Ogun would be Heru Kuti.
Exactly.
Yes, in the Kemetic science, Ogun is Heru Kuti.
Okay.
And Ifa
c'est Tot.
Ifa would be Tahuti.
Tahuti.
Yes.
Exactement.
The scribe, the oracle of God.
Maître à parole sacrée là.
The father,
the master,
speaking knowledge, literature,
and wisdom,
science, mathematics.
The master of the sacred words.
The master of the sacred words.
Ok. Alors, prochaine question. Nous avons une pause musique.
The next question, pause musical.
And we'll start with a new question for the second hour. Nous allons faire une pause musique et nous allons retrouver nous pour question là, pour prochaine là. Et question là, c'est que est-ce nous besoin, vous qui êtes un spécialiste en psychologie clinique, est-ce nous besoin en psychologie, mais qui a collé avec ça en africain? C'est la prochaine question.
Okay,
nous, quand on pose musique, nous revenons toujours à un petit moment. Nous, dans AIS Radio, 105.8, la voix des sans-voix, la voix de la connaissance, pour émission Azote Renaissance avec Diolo, et je de là nous recevoir IFATUNDE qui sortit par vos Philadelphie pour faire un petit démo causé avec nous.
Haché.
Yeah, that's Yoruba music.
Right. Yeah.
Ok, pas de problème. Nous tous sont sacrés qui sont par bon côté la vie, qui sont par bon côté.
Traduis.
Tous sont sacrés.
You have to know that in
in that show.
AIS radio,
it's a radio.
We have all the sacred songs.
There are all kind of sacred music
From the African spirituality cultures.
Powerful.
Okay, could I ask you?
Sure.
Since I knew Dr. Wilson was also a psychologist.
She was a psychiatrist. So she prescribed medicine. Yes. Psychologist, no medicine. We PhD, she's MD, she's medical doctor.
Okay.
Yeah, we doctor of philosophy, psychology. Same thing, but she can write prescription.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, because I asked you that question to ask this, were you inspired by her works?
After the fact, but she was not an inspiration as a child. My childhood inspirations would have been Dr. Naim Akbar. Dr. Naim Akbar was an early one. Dr. Jawanza Kunjufu would have been another one. Dr. Amos Wilson, the greatest one, because he was also a Pan-Africanist. So Dr. Amos Wilson would be number one for me. And Dr. Yusuf Ben Yakinen would be number two for me. Yes, sir.
That's my boy right there.
Yes, and they were both Garveyite Pan-Africanists.
The first one I got for the Kemetic movement was Ashwa.
That's why I love Dr. Kwesi. Yes, I love Dr. Kwesi.
Dr. Ben was his master.
His teacher, yes.
A lot of the people still don't know about his great Africans. And
yes.
I feel that it's an important need to let it be known, because even you are, as for me, one of the great minds, black minds, depending on
appreciate you.
The people here still need to find out who you are, and I'll try my best to
yes.
bring you across, so that next time when you come, a lot more people will already know who you are.
Yes, looking forward to that, Bob.
Definitely.
Family. Yes.
Yeah.
Oui, après ça, on peut faire.
So the school, I like I said, I've been watching your stuff. You finally got the school.
Yeah.
After 3 years.
We obtained it in 2019. We got the school, and right now we're about to complete.
We always start with the voice of Shekan Tadio.
Ah, yes.
Ouais.